Right, it's working.
Das ist working. Did you bring your beer down?
No, I drank it all.
Another one?
No. Simply one that was punctuated. Staggering the drinks up there.
Do you like open one bottle, have half of it, leave it somewhere, open another bottle, half it, leave
I've
it somewhere
almost
else?
got like Mountain Dew just around the house at strategic intervals.
Fucking hell.
Just sort of like, oh, I was part of the way through that one, I'll leave it here. If I want to come back, I'll go upstairs and start a new one. When I come downstairs, I won't need to bring a new one with me because I've got one down there that I've sort of
Truly
half finished.
impressive. Truly impressive.
Exactly.
Recommended course of action.
The art of the neckbeard is one that few people take to its logical conclusion. But I'm proud of just how far down that pit I am falling without a parachute.
I don't even know what to say.
That was me cocking the pistol that I'm going to put in my mouth.
I wholeheartedly agree. Something needs to be done about this. I don't like to be the bearer of bad news, Biggs, but...
Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. You don't have any bullets in there, so I'm afraid my existence will have to be perpetuated for a few more
What about the
days.
rifle?
Let's have a look. Let's get it. I'll just fasten my Jew and get it out. Let's have a look. Let's check the magazine. No, bollocks. Yeah, that's nothing in there.
Nothing in the chamber?
No, no, oops, let's check the chambers. Nope. No. Safe.
Can I just pour this lighter fluid over your hat and set it on fire and hope that it burns your brain out from the inside?
Well, that would just cause unnecessary agony.
Necessary agony, and it would smell terrible.
Exactly. I'd rather my departure from this mortal coil be quite a dignified and quick affair, really. I mean, I know
The word dignified coming from you.
I've committed terrible sins against mankind with all of this Mountain Dew loitering, but, you know... I think the world has harsher problems. Namely, what are we going to do about all these orcs? Oh god. Emperor. I just can't deal with his face. He's so serious.
It's so stereotypical.
That's why people have such beef with the Space Marines and such beef.
See, he's
with,
fucking cool.
Such beef with this chapter in particular.
He is battered gentleman.
You see, he's the grizzled NCO archetype that everyone can get behind.
Also, what the fuck? They have bullets in their forehead.
The sergeant dude and the captain as well, where they've got those golden.
But they both have two.
Like those golden.
Do they just
almost
get
cylinders
when
embedded
when
in
they
their
get when do
foreskin?
they get to the point where they're like, you're bad enough? They take a pistol and shoot them in the forehead and embed the bullet in there.
I meant to say embedded in their forehead, but I instinctively said embedded in their foreskin.
Lovely. You're a disgusting Kirk upon this planet.
Right, I'll explain that. It's a badge. If my understanding is right, I remember it as being almost sort of a badge of rank type of thing.
What, getting shot in the head by your superior for being a badass?
No, because they're not bullets.
What?
They aren't bullets at all. Think of like, you know what watch batteries look like? Where they're those tiny little gold discs, sort of. They're just bigger versions of those that just get driven into your skull. And I don't even know what purpose they have. I think they somehow modify your brain's electrical activity to be more conducive to tactical thought under pressure. I think might be.
So it's all a bit squiffy.
All I know is that it's basically an implant that you get once you get to a certain rank, and they like reward you with it, and it basically just helps your tactical thinking.
Fair enough.
Obviously, in the game, it's nothing but a brief aesthetic nod, but in the lore, which couldn't be further divorced from the game in a lot of ways, both tabletop and
Now we
video.
get to deal with the shite fact that I can't play this game for anything.
This game is one of those that you can play it comprehensively, and you can get away with keyboard and mouse, but you really need a gamepad to actually feel it.
To actually feel it, as that the Rumble Pack.
No, not feel it like that. More like the game just feels
I
like
just shot the floor.
the controls flow a lot better on a gamepad. It's just a lot more intuitive. It's not like Dark Souls level without a gamepad.
You can't play the game.
Can't actually do anything. You're just floundering inanely like an imbecile.
Oh, the original Dark Souls 1 controls on the PC were painful to behold.
Oh god, I know.
It was like, wasn't it like look around with the arrow keys while move with the mouse, but you also needed to use the mouse to attack while holding certain keys on the keyboard with a bit of a hand. You couldn't reach over there without having like 2 arms like General Grievous.
If you aren't a virtuoso 9-string guitar player, you can't play Dark Souls with a keyboard and mouse, and everyone knows this. Dark Souls 2 made it slightly more intuitive, but only so you had to be a virtuoso, like, I don't know, 7-string player.
Oh god. Well, that worked quite well. Get out of my way, peasant.
I love this shit. It's just, even with a combat knife, you can still make them explode by stabbing them hard enough. The hardest, greenest football hooligans in the universe.
Oh god, contextual cutscene.
Oh no, the lead cockney. It's the hitcher, let him put you in the picture, creeping in your room in the dead of night with the solo polo vision. That's right, he's a cockney geezer, watch him bleach.
Shut up.
That's not my song, I'm gonna stop before I get sued.
Go away.
Stomp his face
still,
into a
I don't
fine
understand
paste.
how stamping on an orc's face somehow regenerates your health, unless it's some kind of like stimulant boost.
Fuck, I don't even know. Nowhere in the lore does it say that Space Marines are healed by the blood of their enemies. Although they can eat the brain of their enemies and gain their memories from the past few days. They can also...
What? Space Marines eat the brains of people and regain the memories of them?
Only if it would be advantageous to do so, and it only...
Why, does it corrupt some of their mind in the process?
I'm pretty sure...
Or does it only happen
pretty sure they can only use it on other people, like humans. Although they might be able to do it with sort of Xenos with a lot of homology to humans, much like Orks and Eldar.
Eldar?
But the really annoying, pretentious, self-righteous, lawful, neutral space elves who are really annoying.
Just to point out for people watching, I know literally jack shit about the lore of 40k. So my friend here
I know more about it than I do about anything else, which is kind of bad. Because I don't that's not
a worryingly large amount of things about other things, so it kind of puts it into perspective. So he will be guiding you through this wonderful journey while I sit here like a mindless idiot and kind of go along for the ride.
It'll be fun in the sun.
It's the fucking skull on the front. I love it.
They're called kill cruisers as well.
Kill cruisers. It looks surprisingly a lot like the ship from Space Pirate Captain Harlock. I don't like to bring that up.
Does that have a massive skull and crossbones on the front? I think I know the one you're talking about, although I've yet to watch that. Although it's something that needs to be inflicted on me, that's for sure.
Yes.
I don't know whether that's big enough to be... Yeah, I think that's a kill cruiser. Basically, the Orcs' idea on how you're supposed to build spaceships. He's a fucking Space Marine.
Yeah, I know, but like armor and stuff, you can understand. Space Marine, Warhammer 40k, blah blah blah. Anyway,
Imperium.
I understand. Like, the bit on his back looks like some kind of engine to run the armor.
Yep, that's what it is. Massive.
Okay, so
that's like essentially the power supply for his armor.
Yeah, power supply for armor. Probably some kind of crazy fusion reactor going on in there.
That is obviously very, very archaic, forbidden knowledge that not even the engineers who put it on the armor know how it works.
Heading towards the front lines now.
I will meet you there.
And can we just appreciate the defense cannon over there in the horizon?
Wait, did that all just rumble because that thing fired?
Yes.
Oh, it's that thing.
That's what you have to go and blow up because the Orcs have hijacked it. Also, just got to admire that statue of the Tech Priest with the cog halo around his head.
Your life's dream.
Yeah.
To literally become.
Oh my god, the Adeptus Mechanicus just makes me squeal inside. It's like, science should be ritualized. They've got it right. It is practically a replacement for religion in the West, so let's just go full ham and just say fuck it. Everyone gets robes. Everyone gets incense. Chant in weird languages that other people don't understand just to make yourself feel better because they can't understand you. Not because what you're saying is necessarily complicated, but because it's in a spooky language. Also, it would be cool at uni because then lectures would be like cult meetings. And the lecturer would be standing on the podium and you wouldn't call him lecturer, you'd be Grand Magus. Oh, you get the bolter.
Remember, one of my favourite things to do with this is just run at them and then melee.
And punch them into dust, where they just explode. You know what would make me really happy is bullpup bolters. How cool would that be?
Oh god, well that didn't work.
Although, entirely functionless really. It's not marksmanship that counts with a bolter, you just unload into a crowd of them and watch them pop.
Yeah, also, bolters, don't they fire tank shells?
Sort
or is that
of.
the storm bolter?
No, they both fire the same caliber. The storm bolter just has 2 barrels, so fires it a hell of a lot faster.
Well, I thought it was just 2 strapped together.
Combi bolter.
Combi bolter.
Let me explain. Right, we got the bolter, which is basically take your standard idea of an assault rifle, and then replace the bullets with huge, sort of essentially 30mm cannon shells. You know the sort of thing on an APC.
Oh, okay, so autocannon shells.
Like, yeah, what we in the current time would consider an autocannon. And essentially that's the ammo, apart from its...
How big are they then?
Oh,
like Space Marines.
How
are they
tall
like
are
8
they?
feet tall or
yes,
something?
they are.
Fucking hell.
And they have to undergo that transition from being a normal human. So, like...
How? How does that...
Through a very lengthy and dangerous process that kills most of the men who undergo it. They have to have entire new organs put into them.
What, to just keep up?
Like,
do they have double lungs? Well, not double lungs, but they have like 2 hearts or something.
They do. They have 2 hearts. They have the Betcher's gland, which I think, if I remember rightly, is what allows them to produce sort of an acidic toxin and spit it out.
What?
So in desperate situations, they can literally chew their way through obstacles if the situation demands it. It's serious rule of cool dumbness.
Bollocks.
But I love it. And then you
probably get stabbed on some street for that by some certain nerdy person. But
it's like, you can't say that about Space Marines. It's like a lot of people have serious beef with the Marines just because of how much rule of cool bollocks they follow to get them to the sheer point of transhuman fuckery that they are. They've got the black carapace, which they need to interface with their armour. Without that, they can't really wear it. It's sort of this...
It's like a spinal jack or something.
Yes, it is pretty much that. It's sort of spinal cord interface between you and the armour, and basically, without it, you can't make use of that blood. You can't make use of a lot of its systems. You don't necessarily need a black carapace to wear power armour, but to use Space Marine tier power armour, you pretty much need it. Like the Adeptus Auritas, who are basically I just describe them as battle nuns, really, that the Imperial Church uses, and essentially the Inquisition uses them too. They have power armor, but they aren't genetically modified like Space Marines are. They're essentially just very, very highly trained human soldiers.
So it's smaller power armor.
Yeah, and they don't have the same bolters that Marines use.
They don't have...
Basically, they're the same, but not as big.
Okay, fair enough. To humans, because I've
Oh no, they bombed my Tech Priest statue. It's personal now.
I'm not gonna lie, I have a slight childish awe for the rule of cool of the Latin used in the lore.
Yes, it's a big part of it.
It's silly, but I love it. But I shouldn't.
No, I just embrace it. With 40k, I accept. I just take it how it is and love it for it. Although I also prefer it, arguably, when it is actually taking itself seriously.
A mix of both.
I prefer it when it's taking itself seriously. Although the tongue-in-cheek goofiness of it, I think if it's overdone, just makes the whole thing kitschy. Namely, the obsession with skulls that the saying has. I just wish it wouldn't.
Because that's... Oh, 13-year-old who'll go back to emo rock.
Yes, that's precisely what it is. And they tried to justify it. And actually, I'm just going to leave this because it's important.
So this is what you mean by, like, held godly by the normal humans.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, my lords.
Saved yourselves. We thought you did.
We would be, my lord, if not for the lieutenant.
I like how they call it lieutenant, even though in the subtitles it's lieutenant.
Follow the trench network to the lieutenant's command bunker.
In English military, isn't lieutenant different from lieutenant?
Isn't lieutenant's in the Navy, but lieutenant is in the RAF and Army?
Okay.
Like the Navy
So it's
salute's
just kind of-
different. I don't know, the Navy are weird.
Navy and RAF are weird compared to the Army. They just slap their heels together.
Yeah, I thought the RAF's like a weird bastard combination of the two in terms of like etiquette and formality and drill and all that.
Is that because it came last? Well,
Yeah.
none of that's... Of course it fucking came
Oh,
last.
oh no, yeah, we invented aeroplanes before boats, didn't we, guys?
We had aeroplanes before we walked on the land. Fucking hell.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I am
Humanity
so
descended
special
from the
today.
sky.
So fucking special
You,
today.
you did a good there, man. Top-notch biology.
Yeah.
Captain, I'm in position at a broken monument near the guard lines.
Oh man, it hurts me to look at that. Oh, they did the...
But there he is, defending it to his last.
He got there after it got blown up. Don't pull the whole, oh, it was like that when I got you thing. Well, it was. It was like that when you got here. You didn't defend it.